Welcome to the Rapid Roundup session on Advanced Strategic Management. In this course, we will be exploring advanced concepts, frameworks, and methodologies that go beyond the fundamentals of strategic management. From analyzing industry dynamics to crafting innovative strategies, we will equip ourselves with the tools and insights needed to tackle the challenges of today's rapidly evolving business landscape, to which you are going to step into after your MBA. So this is kind of like an extension to the strategic management course you had in the second semester, that was MMPC 12. Now, if you feel like you want a refresher, we will be having a rapid roundup session for the same in the channel. So please check it out. And if you are new to this channel, I am Anu, your guide and facilitator for this course. I run this small but growing YouTube channel named Anu's Classroom, which is aimed at providing IGNOU students overcome the limitations of distance learning by providing quality content that will not only help you pass your exams with good grades, but also understand the concepts well so that you become better managers. So get ready to embark on an exciting journey into the world of the next level strategic management with Anu's Classroom. Let me provide you with a preview of what awaits us in the following hours. This course is divided into 4 blocks, each offering crucial insights into the management of businesses. And it contains a total of 12 units. In block 1, we will start with an overview of corporate management, examining all the fundamental concepts of corporate policy. In the second block, we will explore corporate level growth strategies, including intensive growth strategies, integration, diversification, as well as the importance of strategic alliances. In block 3, we will focus on international strategy, where we will discuss the internationalization processes, evaluation of market risk internationally, as well as what are the few strategies we can follow for entering into international markets. Finally, in the fourth block, we will examine strategic enablers. These are factors which enable strategic management in businesses like information technology, research and development, knowledge management, innovation. We will explore how these factors contribute to the strategic success of a business. I'm thrilled to embark on this journey with you, and I'm confident that together we will gain a deeper understanding of advanced strategic management and be ready to drive success as well as profitability within our organizations. Before we dive into our discussions, I kindly ask you to take a moment to ensure that you have subscribed to the channel and enabled notifications. By doing so, you can ensure that you will never miss an update from Anu's Classroom. This way, you can fully utilize all the resources I provide to support your journey towards earning your postgraduate degree from IGNOU. Feel free to leave your comments, questions, or suggestions in the comment box. I'm here to help you out, so don't hesitate to ask anything. Just remember to keep your comments professional like you would in your future managerial role. So the corporate management's overview. This is like the big picture of how companies plan to do things and make sure everything is going well. It covers both short-term and long-term plans and involves everyone who is in charge. Corporate planning can be thought of as a company's ongoing plan-making process. The big bosses like CEO, CFO, CHO, all these people, they will keep definitely figuring out where to invest and how to grow. They will look at what is going on outside the company and they will come up with different plans, and then they will decide which is the best one. So what are the advantages of this corporate planning? It helps in making plans that the company can use its resources better, get different parts of the company working together in a better manner, and as well as in general you can say it will help, this corporate planning will help to do better overall for the business. So it is like having a map, or what you can say, a recipe or a set of instructions that will guide you or the company on the path towards success. How do we implement these corporate plans then? So after making plans, the company will have to tell everyone, whoever is involved, all the stakeholders, what they are actually aiming for. Proper communication has to be there. Then they will make a detailed plan on how we can get to where we have to be from where we are at currently. So from our current position to where we want to go, what we want to achieve, we will start making plans on how to reach there. And while we make the plan, we have to make sure that we have the right people and tools, as well as we have to keep an eye on the progress. And once we implement the corporate plans, definitely we have to go for evaluation as well as feedback. It is the general formula similar to any kind of plan implementation, you can say. It is not much different. So corporate planning, implementation of corporate plans is not vastly different from implementation of anything that you have studied so far in MBA, right? So coming to the review and evaluation of corporate plans, what do the company do over here? The company will check if the plan is working or not. That is, how do they do that? They will compare what they thought would happen and what is really happening. And if things are off track, they will make changes to get back on course. So what are the various approaches to this corporate management? Companies have various ways, totally different ways of managing things. It varies from company to company. So some have the top bosses like CEOs and CFOs and managing directors who make all the decisions. Whereas other companies might go for a different approach where they get input from everyone. Or there is another set of company where they use some type of a mix of both these approaches. So basically, the approach to corporate management for any business or any company will depend upon how the company is set up, what are the values, what are the mission, vision, all those things what the company wants to achieve or company is striving for. Now, there we were talking about the top bosses, we were talking about managing directors, CFO, CEO and all. So one word with which you can describe such people who make these strategic plans or who are in charge of the strategic management is strategists. Okay, strategists. So what are the roles of such strategists? These people, these strategists are very important people who make sure that the company's plans are working, correct? So they, as I said, they include the CEOs, the entrepreneurs, all the key decision makers of the firm. And each person has a very crucial role to play in deciding and making things happen in an organization. So what are the factors that drive corporate management? There are many things outside the company also that affect how a company runs. So the factors which drive corporate management, it could be not having enough, like for example, the company may not have enough resources or maybe new technology or competition. So what will happen? These things will make the company's plan and manage better to survive and succeed with what they have in this competitive environment. So these are a few factors like the resources, the technology, all these things which drive corporate management. We also have to know about non-business organizations and how we manage them. Some organizations, like you can think of schools or government agencies, they don't focus on attracting customers. And I'm not talking about private schools, okay? So their decision making can be influenced. So these kind of organizations, we generally say non-business organizations. Like Akshaya centers, that comes under government agencies, right? So any other non-business organizations you can think of, feel free to comment down below. Okay, so their focus, have you ever seen an Akshaya center focusing on how to get more people coming into their centers? No. If the rush is too much, they might even tell you guys to please go and see another Akshaya center. We don't care if you don't like us also, right? So the reason is they do not focus on attracting customers. So their decision making can be influenced by many groups, and they may not follow the same strict planning processes which are followed by businesses either, because they judge success more on quality rather than on the numbers. Okay, so those are a few things which you must know when we talk about an overview of corporate management. So, corporate policy. Imagine you are playing a game, okay, with rules. That is what corporate policy is for a company, right? The rules. It is a set of guidelines and principles which a company follows to achieve its goals. Now, who do you think is responsible for making these rules? Any idea? If you said CEO or CFO, you are right. The big shots, the top bosses at the company, they are the ones who decide how things should be done in the long run for the company. So this corporate policy isn't just about any short-term fixes. It is all about looking ahead, planning for the future. So these policies will help companies manage its resources effectively. That means figuring out what is available, how to get more resources if needed, and how we can use what we have effectively or wisely. These policies, you must understand, are not just a bunch of boring rules. Okay, we said that they are guidelines, they are rules, but they are not just a bunch of rules. They cover all sorts of things and are written in a way that it helps everyone understand what has to be done or what needs to be done. They are like a guide to decision making and making sure that everyone is on the same page. You can think of corporate policy like the structure of a building, the steel structure of a building. It holds everything together and gives the company a very solid foundation from which we can work upwards. Now, what do you think would influence such policies? Well, both things that are inside the company as well as outside the company could influence these policies. Like what the company wants to achieve or how big the company is, what resources it has, what is the prevalent economic situation, what are the prevalent government rules and regulations or laws corresponding to the particular industry or sector in which the company operates, right? It's a mix of both internal as well as external factors which influence such corporate policies. And crafting these policies, definitely by now you must have understood, is not at all easy. It involves a lot of careful thought and analysis. And once they are in place, they should provide stability and direction for the company. So the policies should be framed in such a way that once they are in place, they can provide stability and direction for the company. So in a nutshell, corporate policy is like a rule book for the company. It sets all the guidelines and keeps everything running smoothly and helps the company reach its goals. Alright guys, let's talk about corporate strategy now, using a very simple example. Okay, imagine that you are planning a road trip with your friends. Okay, so how will you do that? You will need a map. So you have got a map. Okay, now you will have to decide where you want to go and how you will get there and what you will do along the way. Correct? So in the business world, this is exactly what a corporate strategy is also all about. It is like a roadmap for the company. Now, there are four main types of strategies that you must be aware of. Okay, stability strategy, growth strategy, retrenchment strategy, and a combination of these strategies, combination strategy. Okay, so let us look at these main types of strategies a little. Okay, we are not going to go in depth or in detail. That is not what the session is meant for. This is a rapid roundup session. So, but we will touch upon all these four strategies. What is stability strategy? It is like staying on the same road. Okay, you are staying on the same road. Remember our example on you going on a road trip. So you are staying, stability strategy is you are staying on the same road. You are not making any big changes. Okay, but what is the problem with this? It is good when the road is good, right? It is good. So for a business, it is the stability strategy is good when things are going smoothly and all you want is just to keep doing what you are doing. Then stability strategy is a good strategy. The next type of strategy is the growth strategy. That is when you decide to take some detours, right, and explore some new routes. Maybe you want to visit new places or try out different activities, right? So growth strategy for business, similar. So I'm trying to help you guys understand it by comparing these strategies with our example on you going a road trip, right? So similarly, growth strategy, when you think about in business terms, it is expanding into new markets or new products, right? It is all about basically expanding and growing. Okay. Now the third strategy is retrenchment strategy. So sometimes in your road trip, you might hit a roadblock, right? Or maybe run into some bad weather, right? So what will happen? What will you do? You will take a step back, right? If the road is blocked, maybe you will stop there and you will try to find a different way to go and reach your destination, right? So when a company hits a roadblock, maybe depending upon what type of roadblock it is, maybe the company might have to sell off some old stuff or change their plans a little bit. But the most important thing is they have to keep moving forward. So that is retrenchment strategy. You are taking a step back and finding a different way to reach your goals, because your initial path you met with a roadblock in your initial path, which is not allowing you to proceed any further in that same path. So you will change your plans and go a different route. And I said fourth type of strategy was combination strategy. So imagine, so in a road trip, it is not that always, maybe by luck, you will always have the best route, and maybe you never had any thought on exploring any new places apart from just getting from point A to point B, right? But most of the time, what happens when we are going on a road trip, the road is never smooth, right? Indian roads are never smooth. But there will definitely be gutters, there will definitely be heavy traffic jams, right? And there are not just that, amazing places which entices us to go and visit, right? Maybe we wanted to go from point A to point B, but en route we might find a lot of new places, beautiful sceneries, great things, right? So maybe we feel like, okay, maybe I can take a risk and maybe 1 hour I'll just go, or I'll just take a different route and go by that way. Like that we might do many things, right? It is never a single strategy. It is hardly a single strategy. So for businesses also it is like that, right? We'll have a combination of stability, growth and retrenchment. That is, maybe the businesses might be staying on course in some areas, but at some other places they might go for exploring new things. And so like that, we will have a combination of strategies playing together. That is combination strategy, right? A bit of everything. Now this stability and the growth strategy, we will look a little bit more into them, because they have their own flavors, right? Stability is like sticking to familiar roads when everything is calm and steady, whereas growth is setting out to discover new places and experiences and taking risks to reach bigger growth. And to put all these strategies into action, a company has to plan very carefully. Just like planning a road trip, the company will need to know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, understand what lies ahead of them, and be prepared for any surprises, right? And when it comes to growing, we have different ways to grow. What are the various ways to grow? What are the various expansion strategies? Expansion strategy is nothing but growth strategy. Intensification. What is intensification? It is, you can think of it as like improving your car or bike by getting better, or like say getting better snacks for the trip to make it more enjoyable, right? We have another thing, integration. It is like teaming up with other travelers to share resources and reach our destination faster. International expansion, that is a road trip which spans countries. That is international expansion, exploring new territories and new markets. Now, the thing that we must remember is that choosing the right strategy for our company will depend on where the company wants to go, what resources it has, and what the road conditions are like, right? What is the path? What is the condition of the path that lays ahead? If the road ahead is smooth, then stability might be the best way to go. But if there are exciting new opportunities, then maybe it is growth strategy that could lead us to some amazing results. Now, again, so we went on a road trip. I want you guys to now come back from the road trip and imagine that you have a small shop, okay, which sells only one type of product. If it is one type of product, then maybe let's pick shoes. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, let's say you have a small shop which sells only shoes. Now, diversification. Diversification is like deciding to sell not just shoes in your shop, but also maybe adding clothes or accessories to your store. So instead of relying just on your shoe sales, now your shop will have, now you will have different things to offer, which can attract more customers. Okay. Now, the way you decide to add these new things to your shop can be like different strategies. For example, you might choose to add clothes and accessories that are related to the shoes. Okay, maybe like socks or shoe polish. That is related diversification. Okay, that is called related diversification. Why? Because you are adding new things. If you are adding new things, means it is diversification. What kind of things are you adding now? If you are in your shoe shop, now if you start selling socks and shoe polish, you are diversifying in with related products to your actual initial product. That is called related diversification. Or, right, you might decide to add completely different things, like maybe snacks or toys. It's your choice, your shop, right? If you decide to do that, it is called unrelated diversification. If you add things that are similar or that are complementary or supplementary to what you already had in your shop, it is related diversification. But if you are adding some totally different stuff which has no relation to what you had already, it is unrelated diversification. Now, one way to make this change, this diversification, is through something called as mergers and acquisition, M&A for short. It is a very important concept. Okay, so what is this mergers and acquisitions? It is like teaming up with another shop, right, or buying another shop to create a bigger and more versatile store. Just like when two companies come together, they combine their strengths, right? It is like one shop bringing in more customers and the other bringing in different products. Now, the success of this combination, right, it depends on a few things. What are they? One thing that we must remember is that diversification in whatever way is not just about putting everything together, right? It is about choosing the right shop to team up with, this mergers and acquisition part. You have to choose the right shop to team up with. You want shops that have things that work well together, like shoes and socks. Also, you need to be careful not to pay too much for the other shop and make sure that everything fits very well, like making sure the new employees get along well with the old ones. However, sometimes these combinations don't work out. Maybe the shops have different ways of doing things, right? Or maybe the new products which have come up with this merger just don't match, right? So these reasons for failure, these are few reasons for failure, and it is very essential that we are cautious about such things and we do thorough checks before making any big changes, right? If you're diversifying, especially mergers and acquisitions, it is not a simple matter, right? It involves a lot of cost, it involves a lot of changes. So don't just blindly get into it. Always be cautious. Look at the 360-degree angle of stuff. Now, in India, many businesses are doing this kind of teaming up, or buying other businesses to grow faster. You all know, like, there is an education platform called Byju's. They bought Akash, right, which is again it was a great coaching institute, is now with Byju's, right? So it is like combining forces to become stronger and reach more people. Indian companies might be doing this because it helps them grow without starting everything from scratch, right? It is like joining a bigger game in the market. So diversification and these mergers and acquisitions, these are like ways for businesses to mix things up or try new stuff and hopefully become even more successful than what they are currently. Now, imagine, to help you better understand about strategic alliances, imagine two companies are deciding to team up, okay, but they are not completely joining forces, okay. Then what they make something like a special agreement called a strategic alliance. So they're not merging, right? But they have decided to team up. Have you seen Moon Knight? Moon Knight is a Marvel series which streams on Disney Plus Hotstar. Okay, Moon Knight. So I'm not spoiling anything, but there is one scene towards, I think, the last episode or the second last episode, one of the last episodes, the ending episodes, where Moon Knight is a person who has teamed up with the Egyptian god Khonshu, right? And for some reason, so many developments happen, and so it is like he is working together, he is bonded to Khonshu or something like that, you can think of. So that is like mergers and acquisition. But something happens, and at later point, there is another person who has to team up with a different Egyptian god. And there is one thing that she says, that I'm not going to completely surrender yourself to you or anything, but we will work together. I'll have my independence, you will have yours, but we will work together for the time being. So that is like a strategic alliance, right? You're still separate people, but who has their own lives, but you are working together on a project. So these alliances can be very simple, like say sharing tools or skills, or really complex ones also, involving a lot of companies from different places, all aiming for the same big goal. So this teamwork trend is actually growing worldwide, mainly because companies want to get better and beat their competition. And by teaming up, they can use each other's strengths, like getting access to new markets or cool technology, money, skilled people, you name it. So all these things will help the companies grow faster, save money when making things, as well as quickly create and spread new technology. Now, the reasons why more and more companies are teaming up include, like, the world is becoming more connected, or there is tougher competition. There is a need for companies to reach to new places and use new technologies. You can think of many reasons, I'm sure. Now, the good part about these teamwork agreements or these strategic alliances is that they come with a bunch of perks, right? We have already told about those perks. Companies get into or can enter new markets faster. They can share the cost of research and development, manufacturing, and even marketing. They can also add new products or skills to what they offer, making them more versatile. But like any partnership, the strategic alliances also have certain downsides. Like when the companies team up like this, they might lose a little bit of control over what they do, right? Some loss of control will definitely be there. There is also a chance of arguments between these partners, which could bring out difficulty in reaching their goals. And how to make these teamwork agreements or strategic alliances work? Definitely, we need a process involved. Companies will have to find the right partners. They have to make sure that they are getting along well. They have to set clear goals and agree on the terms and put the plan into action. Basically, you can say communication, trust, and having a shared vision is super important in making such partnerships successful. Lastly, just like in any relationship, in strategic alliances also, companies need to be responsible. They have to make sure that they are doing whatever they are doing is right, it is legal, and it is socially responsible. They need to be open about their actions and keep the trust of the people who rely on them. Internationalization. Internationalization is when businesses spread their operations to international markets, right? Driven by reasons maybe like seeking larger or more competitive markets or diversifying their risk. There could be many reasons why businesses decide to spread their operations to international markets. Now, this journey of internationalization typically goes through different stages, from staying local to exporting products or establishing foreign subsidiaries, and finally achieving global efficiency while being locally responsive. Multinational corporations, that is MNCs, they benefit. So they are definitely internationalized organizations, and they benefit from accessing large customer bases and sharing knowledge. But they face challenges like cultural differences as well as legal issues. Different models help explain internationalization, like the Uppsala model, which focus on processes, starting with gaining the knowledge in the home market before expanding internationally. The Uppsala International Model, developed by Uppsala University in Sweden, focuses on the process of internationalization. Sorry about the tongue slips. It suggests that firms initially gain their knowledge in their home market before moving to international markets and starting with nearby and culturally similar countries before they expand to more diverse and distant nations. There is another model called as the transaction cost model. It is a theory that focuses on the cost and risks that are associated with internationalization. It suggests that firms will tend to expand until the cost of organizing an extra transaction within a firm becomes equal to the cost of carrying out the same transaction in the open market. Then we have an eclectic model which combines the advantages and emphasizes ownership, location and internationalization benefits. The eclectic model, which is also known as OLI model, ownership, location and internationalization advantages. This model explains the conditions that are appropriate for internationalization of a firm via foreign direct investment (FDI) and not through exports. This model proposes the suitability of conditions for FDI and emphasizes the importance of ownership, location and internalization advantages. In essence, internationalization involves expanding into global markets with reasons varying and stages ranging from local exploration to global efficiency. MNCs enjoy advantages in this internationalization, but they also face challenges, right? And we also discussed about the three model for internationalization: Uppsala, transaction cost and eclectic. Now, talking about market risks. To understand market risk assessment when it comes to international business strategies, you can think of international trade like a big business adventure in different countries. Before a company can decide to invest in a new place, they will have to figure out if it is safe or if it is a smart move. This is where this risk assessment comes in, right? Imagine you're planning a trip to a new country. You will want to know, right, if it is a safe place that you're planning to go and if your plans will work out there, right? Similarly, companies also check how safe it is to do business in other countries and if their investment over there will be a success or not. There are different types of risks they look at, like political risk. That's when changes in the country's politics might affect how much money they make. Economic risk is like wondering if big things like money exchange rates or government rules will impact their investment. And then there is business risk, which is about specific industry or businesses that they are putting their money into. Now, the reasons for these risks can be all sorts of things, right? Political changes, economic troubles, new rules, or even natural disasters could be a reason for such risks. Just like planning for your trip, right? Companies also have to prepare for this unexpected stuff. Now, to handle these risks, companies use different tricks. They might decide not to invest in countries with too many unknowns, right? Kind of like choosing not to visit a place with uncertain weather. They also spread their investments in different countries, like how you might visit multiple cities on your trip. For financial safety, they will be using tools like foreign credit or insurance, even letters of credit, right? It is like having backup plans for their money. And to make sure the businesses they are investing in runs smoothly, they put in quality controls also, similar to making sure your travel plans are well organized, right? So in the end, deciding to do business internationally is not very much unlike deciding to go on a big road trip, correct? You weigh the benefits, like the new opportunities, making money, against the risks, like the things that are not going well as planned. So just like you might think about the weather or the amount of money you'll have to put in or the safety factors before your trip, companies need to think about the political, financial, economic and business risks before they invest in a foreign country. That's it. Simple things only. Business is not something totally different from how we conduct our daily lives. I'm sure you must have already started appreciating that factor. International trade. It is like a big global marketplace with lots of countries involved. each country is, you can think of it as a unique store with its own rules, ways of doing things. Making deals between these countries can definitely be a bit tricky because they're all different. They have different cultures, they have different rules, and even the way their governments work could be different. Companies have different ways to join such a global marketplace. Some start small by sending their products to other countries, like small exports, mailing a gift to a friend and all. This is exporting. Others, they might go a step further and let someone in another country use their brand or make their products, right? That is called licensing or franchising. McDonald's franchise, KFC franchises, right? Some companies might want to be more hands-on. They might decide to set up a shop in another country itself. It is like kind of, you can think of it as opening a branch of their business there. This is called a wholly owned subsidiary or direct investments. Some even might team up with local businesses in other countries to work together, like creating a special collaboration. This is called a joint venture. Choosing how to join this global marketplace depends on your company's resources, how much risk your company is willing to take, and what you want to achieve in the long run. So you can think of it as deciding how to sell your crafts, right? Do you start selling by selling online, or are you going to open your own shop? Same way. And if you have limited resources, then maybe it is a good idea that you start small. And if you have more resources, then definitely you might want to go big, right? Now, this is where government comes in, right? Government, they are like the organizers of this global marketplace. They set the rules and the tone of the event. They can either make it easier or they can make it harder for companies to join this marketplace. They may use rules or taxes to protect their own businesses, or they might even encourage everyone to join in this marketplace by making it very easy for trading, right? So, if I am to explain to you in simple terms, international trade, right? It is like a big global marketplace where countries are stores and companies can join this marketplace in different ways depending on their resources and their goals. And just like a marketplace event, government plays a crucial role in making it either more challenging or more welcoming for everyone. You know how technology is everywhere nowadays, right? Well, think about it like this. Imagine you are running a lemonade stand. I know I'm making you imagine a lot many things. I hope it's not boring you. Imagine you are running a lemonade stand and you have got this amazing lemon squeezing machine. Okay, it makes your lemonade making process much more faster and it makes your lemonade tastier than anybody else's. Okay, this amazing machine. That is kind of what information technology is for businesses, this IT. So when a company uses IT, it is like having a superpower in the business world. It helps them do things better, faster, smarter than their competitors. Like if you are selling lemonade, IT might help you keep track of your inventory, reach more customers online, even figure out what are the best prices to sell your lemonade at different points of the day or at different days of the week. Now, picking the right IT stuff is important, just like choosing the right tools for a job. You've got to think about how big your lemonade stand is, how many lemons you're going to squeeze, and how much money you're going to spend. That is what we call IT architecture and infrastructure. Basically, it's like setting up your lemonade stand with the best lemon squeezing machines and lemon storage bins. And you know how sometimes new inventions come along and totally change the game, right? Well, IT innovation is also like that for businesses. It is all about finding new ways to use technology to make our lemonade stand, that is our business, even better. Maybe you might come up with a robot which squeezes lemons twice as fast, right? That's IT innovation, making your lemonade business more profitable and more popular. Then there is e-businesses, right, which is taking your lemonade stand online. Now you'll get a website where people can order your lemonades, your social media pages where you can tell everyone how awesome your lemonade is, and even online payment systems to make it easy for people to buy your lemonade from anywhere in the world, right? Now, let's not forget about the customer service part. There also IT comes in. to help businesses make sure their customers are happy. They can make sure orders are processed smoothly, questions are answered quickly, feedback is used to make the lemonade even tastier, right? So, in a nutshell, information technology is like a secret ingredient that helps businesses make better lemonade, right? Sell more lemonade, or maybe that is make better products, sell more products, keep their customers coming back for more. It is basically IT is basically like the lemon squeezing machine of this business world. It helps you in many ways. We spoke about innovation, right? So, have you ever thought about how this innovation or creativity play into a company's success? Hmm? You can think of innovation as a process of coming up with fresh ideas or ways of doing things which can really benefit a company. Whereas creativity, on the other hand, is all about generating those original ideas in the first place. So, what factors influence this innovation and creativity? A big one is the company's culture. If it's all about taking risks and being creative, that tends to foster more innovation. Plus, having the right resources or supportive leadership and collaboration among team members can all really boost creativity. Now, what makes a company innovative? Well, innovative companies usually have a few things in common. They've got culture which encourages trying new things. They are super focused on what their customers need. They are not afraid to take any risks. Plus, they are always learning and growing, and they work together as a team to come up with new ideas. But how do you actually enhance this creativity? To do that, there are actually some cool techniques like brainstorming, where you just throw out a bunch of ideas without worrying about if they are good or not. There is mind mapping, where you visually map out your ideas. Oh, and have you ever heard of this scamper? Hmm? SCAMPER, scamper. It is a method where you basically mix and match different ideas to come up with new ones. So, why does all of this matter for business? Right? Because innovation and creativity are what keeps companies moving forward. These are the things that help companies stay ahead of the competition, come up with awesome new products and services, and just keep getting better over time. Knowledge management you can think of as a brain of an organization, where it collects, organizes and shares all the valuable information and experiences of its people. It is about making sure everyone has access to the right knowledge at the right time to help organizations make better decisions and stay ahead of the game. There are different kinds of knowledge also, like stuff that's written down, explicit knowledge, things people just know from experience, that is tactical knowledge, and knowledge that is kind of hidden knowledge, that is implicit. So this knowledge can come from like inside the company, employees, customers, like that, or even outside the company, like industry reports or researchers. Setting up this knowledge management system is like building a roadmap. You start by creating new knowledge, then you store it in an organized way, you share it with everyone who needs it, and finally use it to improve how organization works. The benefits of knowledge management are also very huge. It helps organizations make smarter decisions, come up with new ideas, work together better, perform at their best, but it is not always very easy to implement. Some folks do resist change. It can be tricky to measure the value of knowledge, and it takes ongoing effort to keep this system up to date. So you can say that knowledge management is all about turning information into action, helping organizations learn and grow, and ultimately staying competitive in a fast-paced world. You can think of innovation as the engine of a company, driving the creation of new ideas, products, and services that make it stand out. Creativity, which is its fuel, is the ability to come up with fresh and original ideas. Picture a workplace where everyone is encouraged to experiment, to take risks, and keep learning. That's the organizational culture which fuels innovation. Leadership is the steering wheel which guides this process. Supportive, visionary leaders who can embrace new ideas, inspire their team to think creatively, and take risks. Resources like funding, technology, and the time are the gears that keep this engine running. When organizations invest in research, provide training, allow time for creative projects, they create a culture that nurtures innovation. Now consider diversity as the different perspectives and backgrounds which brings a variety of ideas to the table. Collaboration and teamwork are the gears that mesh together, letting individuals build on each other's ideas. Innovative organizations are, like well-oiled machines. They have a very clear vision. They focus on the customer's needs and they embrace change. They are very agile, they adapt quickly to the market shifts and customer demands, and they are driven by a very strong sense of purpose. To boost creativity, you can think of techniques like brainstorming, a burst of ideas. That is, brainstorming is nothing but a burst of ideas without judgment, or mind mapping, right? Connecting ideas visually, lateral thinking, which is approaching problems from different angles, as well as design thinking, which is a very creative problem solving approach, you can think. In essence, innovation and creativity are like the lifeblood of organizations, helping them stay competitive as well as relevant. And by fostering a culture of innovation, investing wisely, promoting collaboration and diversity, organizations can rev up their creativity engines and generate ideas that not only benefit customers but also makes a very positive impact on the society. So with that, we have covered all the major aspects of advanced strategic management as stipulated in your MMPC 17 of IGNO MBA as per the new syllabus. Thank you so much for tuning into Anu's Classroom. I hope you have subscribed to the channel and enabled notifications, and I really hope that the session was useful for you, and I wish to catch up with you in the next sessions too. Thank you very much. Happy learning.